So I will start with continue Julian's talk. So, like he said, right? When people seek for mental support or people seek for some companionship because of the loneliness, every person will have some different needs, right? So I will start motivating my talk from the perspective of personalized chatbots. The first question is, do you think it's easy to be a doctor? According to my mom's doctor, which is a mysterious doctor that once my mom brought me there, and this doctor built a set of treatments that can be applied to all the conditions. And you can never catch what's the mechanism. He will respond with, if you don't trust, it won't be effective. So, here I'm just using a health coach as an example. If you want to be a health coach, it's actually easy to do without a license. Right? So, if there comes a person or a patient asking, I want to get fit, you can just respond, eat less and exercise more. It makes sense, right? So, this person says, got you, and he left. And then there comes another person, I want to get fit. You can respond with the same thing, right? Eat less and exercise more. And you have a third patient, you can again respond with the same strategy. So far, it looks okay, right? But if I display the different body shapes of the three patients to you, you see, it makes sense that maybe for the middle one, or maybe even for the first one. However, this person maybe wants to get some muscles, right? Not, lose weight. So if you think about the different needs of patients or the users of those chatbots, they are very different. This one wants to lose weight, this one wants to lose weight, this one wants to gain some muscles. And this one you want to get taller, right? How can you deal with that? And even for both of these two, they want to lose weight, you cannot always apply the same strategies because this one might be diabetic. You cannot just use the same diet strategy or diet plans for this person. And more than that, I think that Julia mentioned something about the social empathetic expressions. People may have different psychological status, right? Someone are tough, someone are a little bit frustrated. If you give them the same thing, someone gets motivated, someone got frustrated. So again, you want something to be personalized. So far, we have achieved a lot by using all the body indicators and the other objective data to build all the models, fascinating models to give personalized recommendations. However, these recommendations are just a report or a list of meals or something for you yourself to follow. It's very hard for them to comply, right? So I think there is a domain of studying the patient appearance. So let's see how rich people do that. I think one of the goal for us to develop all these fascinating machine learning models is to distributing all this knowledge or practice to the ordinary people with a very minimum level of cost. So that's how we try to learn from the rich people's life, right? So I just divide them to two big types of personalization. The first type is what we are doing now, right? We use all the body indicators, the medical data, and do some prediction, some recommendation. That can be some knowledge. And what we don't have is that, if you have a personal health coach, this person may pat on your shoulders if you feel a little bit frustrated. If you get lazy, you can have a very tough coach being there to push you, who doesn't like a tough guy, right? So I call it a social personalization, which is almost lacked in all the current machine learning or GPT models. I think Replica, and other models are good examples, but they are more on the companionship side. I'm looking at this from some healthcare domain problem to achieve this social personalization. Basically, I developed a GPT chatbot. This chatbot will have both sides of personalization. First one is the knowledge of fitness, and the second one is the social skills. This is kind of unique. This GPT chatbot was built before the release of ChatGPT, so I had very mixed feelings about the ChatGPT, you can see. The first thing we want to examine is if I build this GPT chatbot. I'm not sure whether I have time to demonstrate that. First, I think I use my laptop. So basically, just build the app. Sorry, I don't think you can see it. That's fine. Just continue with. Basically, I have a program running on my laptop that can show you like a similar interface of ChatGPT, but it's some customized and fine-tuned model. But anyway, I believe everyone have used the ChatGPT, so you have a good knowledge like how good this chatbot will perform, right? So the first question is, see if the chatbot can give you replies that are human-alike. The only thing is its identity being a chatbot. Will this be the same thing as the rich people's personal coach, right? Which are being human coaches, right? So the thing we can see from the comparison is that, see if you are performing similarly in the performance, but they are representing different things. For the AI chatbot, you know like there are just code behind that. But for a personal human coach, then that will be some social network behind that. Maybe when you interact with this health coach, you are interacting with the entire social network. And some of the coach's friends may be also your friends. I just want to do this first comparison to see whether the identity of chatbot will influence the engagement of the user with this fitness chatbot. So for some quick theoretical discussion, first thing I think they also mentioned that this stigma, social stigma avoidance. When we, this is about body shape, right? Diet is very personal. So if you talk with some machines, it feels safer, right? So there is no judgment, no social stigma, and AI is always perceived more fair than a human coach or human manager. The third argument point for AI can be better than a human coach is that it's something called expectation disconfirmation. You can imagine for current AI models, like we discussed this during the panel discussion, there are always corner cases, and I will just use this one to illustrate one example. So if you type something, say this is during COVID, you are locked down at home, doing a quarantine, and see you post something, say I'm trying to stay fit during COVID-19. And then there is a chatbot replying you, what is COVID-19? This chatbot is not updated to now, but it may have some knowledge. But if you see the same thing, I'm trying to stay fit during COVID-19, and then there is a person replying you, see, what is COVID-19? You will feel very confused, right? Is this person isolated from the real world? If yes, how could he reply to me? This is something we call it expectation disconfirmation, right? Because there are always corner cases, and if you have the chatbot identity being disclosed beforehand, then people can accept that. Otherwise, people will get really confused and don't know how to further engage. So that's the good part. See, I want to keep the identity of the chatbot disclosed. And definitely there are some drawbacks if you see this chatbot. just the social value, right? Like I said, you are interacting with the entire social network, and sometimes you do want that. Maybe you want to meet someone online, chat counterpart in the real life, build some relationship. So just don't have a very conclusive, understanding. So I developed this chatbot and implemented on Twitter and try to test the impact of the bot identity. Basically, I created 2 Twitter accounts. Everything stayed the same. For the sake of time, I will just quickly go through all the rest, and just using a female profile image. This is also AI generated. The only difference is that in the second account, I disclose I'm a bot. That's the only difference. I call the first one female account, the second one bot account. And then this is the timeline of the experiment. So it started on November 2021. See, that's the evidence I developed this GPT chatbot before the release of ChatGPT. So I waited for a few months to avoid, the impression of fresh new accounts, and then I used to avoid, the contamination. I used a third account to search for tweets about fitness, and then apply a very long list of criteria of selecting tweets, potential tweets, and every time we will find 6 tweets that will be divided into 3 pairs. 3 of them will be handled by the human account, the other part will be handled by the bot account. Both of the accounts will use exactly the same model, just sent out through the 2 different accounts. The outcome I'm looking at is just the engagement. See, engagement can be defined by either of the 3 channels of interactions, like, reply, or retweet. It's a binary variable. I tested the count and other outcome variables for the robustness. It's all consistent. So I think it's run there for like 5 months or 6 months. We have interacted with 5,000 users for this first study. Then this is the randomization check. It all passed. So you can check my paper on SSRN. So I will first show you the model-free evidence. This red bar is for the human account. If you don't disclose your identity of chatbot, you can see it's nearly 30% of the tweets that we responded being engaged. That's a pretty high number, you can imagine. Almost every 1 of 3 tweets will be engaged by the user. And if you disclose your identity being a bot, it will drop to 20%. It's a huge drop. I checked the 3 individual channels. The liking and replying are following the same pattern, but not for retweeting. So confirm this using multiple model specifications for formal regression. All the results are consistent, seeing that bot identity is disclosed, is reducing the engagement probability, and this is consistent for the 3 channels, not for the retweet. So we have discussed, theoretically, whether this identity can reduce or increase the engagement, and the argument point for reducing engagement is the reduction in social value, right? Because I'm not interacting with the real person, then there is less social value. I don't have a direct measure for social value perception, so I try to find a proxy. That is, since this account is a female account, you can imagine, when this nice lady replied to your tweet, maybe gentleman has the higher tendency to reply to her or engage with her on Twitter. So I just say, we look at different genders. I'm not implying a romantic relationship, okay? So just looking at the Twitter users of different genders. So this is the overall result consistent with before. If we look at the male users, you can see their initial engagement rate with the human account is nearly 40%. It's much, much higher, right? And if you disclose identity, it dropped by half. It's really a huge gap. There is also a gap for female users, but it's much smaller. Confirm this using formal regression analysis, some moderating effect, and also by leveraging these gender subgroups, also confirm with the robustness of the main finding, because as you can tell, Twitter allows bot accounts. There are a lot of bots on Twitter, so there are bot users that I'm interacting with. So I just look at the subgroup of bot users. Supposedly, if this is about the social value reduction, the bot accounts should not expect any social values from interacting with my accounts. And this is the story being confirmed. See, within bot users, there is no significant impact of the bot identity disclosure. I excluded a lot of results for the sake of time. There is one thing that is not answered is for retweeting, we don't see a drop because of the identity disclosure. So I just want to test why. Figure out this is the direction of engagement. So just imagine if someone tweeted first, then our account replied, then this person further engaged. Then this engagement can be toward us, like liking and maybe liking and replying. This can also toward to his or her followers as the retweeting, right? So we just split them based on the reply or like or retweet only in the second column. In the retweet only subgroup, you can, in this dependent variable, you can see that actually the bot identity is increasing the chance of retweeting the tweets. So that's overall, the finding of the first study, and I will quickly say, since this is about social skills, and you discuss a lot about empathy. So in my second study, see, the 30% of engagement is about empathy, is about social skills. So I just want to test whether social skills is really matter here. So just develop 2 accounts this time. Both of them are bot identity, but one with the ability of a stronger empathetic expression and some further interesting finding. This time, instead of just textual empathy, I also have visual empathy. It's another sad story, right? So I developed some AI models to generate the dog faces with different emotions. Then Midjourney came up, right? So that's that story. So I'll stop here. I'll take questions. Thank you.